Alberto Giacometti's 141.3 million La Home Doigt Sculpture. Before we start, I'd want you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. One of the most admired and famed Swiss sculptor, Alberto Giacometti, takes the top 3 spots on the list of the highest paid sculptors in art market history. Le Homme à Doigt, 1947, was sold for 141.3 million in 2015. Le Homme qui Marche 1, 1961, for 104.3 million in 2010, and Chariot 1950 for 101 million in 2014. Recently, the auction house Sotheby's sale added another one of Giacometti's masterpieces on the record list. The Grand Femme 1 1960, a bronze statue cast only 6 years before the artist's passing, was sold at an unusual sealed bid sale with the starting price of 90 million. A sealed bid sale is designed to protect the bidder's identity, the final buyer, and the final price of the sculpture. But what exactly makes Giacometti's sculptures so valuable? How did they become such an obsession of the art world? The answer may lie in Alberto Giacometti's unique approach to artistry and the management of his legacy. Early Surrealism. Giacometti was born in 1901 to an artist family. His father was a painter, and his brothers sought their creative outlets by becoming artists and architects in their own regard. Alberto studied at the School of Fine Art in Geneva, after which he moved to Paris. Starting from 1922 in Paris, he bonded with Surrealists Max Ernst, Joan Miro, Picasso, Balthus, and Bro Hajorth. In his Surrealist phase, Giacometti explored the human subconsciousness, the dark side of the mind, and his own psychological states. The Suspended Ball 1930-31 makes use of the actual movement. The ball of the sculpture swings like a pendulum, while The Woman with Her Throat Cut 1932 describes a violent scene of a woman raped and murdered. These sculptures spark curiosity, questions. They are dreamlike, almost feverish in their design, and unflinchingly brutal. Practically overnight, Alberto Giacometti became one of the leading Surrealist names. However, almost just as quickly, he had turned his back on the movement. The Surrealist vision didn't align with his own, and Giacometti left the group to pursue the ever-inspirational subject of the human form. Christian Aldenet, the Giacometti Institute's creative director, said that after World War II, Giacometti was not interested anymore in working with fantasy. He wanted to work from reality. He was a solitary artist in the sense that he really had his own vision of what sculpture should be. In 1935, Alberto Giacometti started on the path of existentialism, humanity after destruction. In post-war Europe, there weren't many good things to hold on to. Giacometti turned to the human form, a representation of humanity, love, and community, to make sense of the atrocities that transpired. Silvo standing with his hands in his pockets, 1943, is a notable Giacometti sculpture that represents his nephew, Silvio. It is a quirky statue molded in plaster, small and intimate in size, possibly to elude the war-torn continent's helplessness and fragility. There is a childlike sense of innocence imbued in the sculpture, and characteristic Giacometti wanted to immortalize in such a destructive time period. Around 1947, Alberto Giacometti's style evolved into this elevated, emancipated figures that are highly sought after and famously iconic that have become the most expensive sculptures ever sold today. Le Homme à Doigt, 1947, translated to Man Pointing or Pointing Man, was made for Giacometti's first New York debut. His solo exhibition at Pierre Marty's gallery opened in January 1948. The following sculptures all bear the same tall and eerily slender shape. These attuned human forms are umbilically starved figures that have somehow survived against all odds. They are standing upright, pointing, walking, such as walking quickly under the rain 1948, or at times, speaking. Unknowable figures. Jean-Paul Sartre, one of the most famous philosophers of the earliest 20th century and a key figure for existentialism, penned an essay in 1948 about Alberto Giacometti. In it, he said about the artist, he was the first one to take into the head to sculpt man as he appears, that is to say, from a distance. Giacometti's sculptures to many viewers are unknowable. They have no defining fixtures, nothing to identify with. The figures' compression make it seem like they are seen from afar, from a great distance and disorientation. Regardless of how close the viewer is to them, as such, this makes them the uniquely perfect representations of the tenets of the existentialism and its lived experiences. Our existential angst, anxiety, and all absurdities. Looking at Giacometti's sculptures, the fundamental existentialism questions arise in the viewer. Who are these people? What is their real nature or identity, and where are they heading to? What is their greatest purpose? What is the purpose of the existence of both sculptures and the viewer? While this deeply reflective quality of Giacometti's sculptures draws the attentions of intellectuals, art critics, historians, collectors, and appreciators, it cannot be the sole reason why they are the most expensive sculptures in the world. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so that you never miss any amazing video from us.